Capcom has had a very eventful August, all of it really kicking off with the opening night of Gamescom back on the 20th of August with the gameplay reveal that, Terry from Fatal Fury, King of Fighters, one of the staple SNK fighting game characters, is going to be making his debut later in September as the very first guest character ever in a mainline Street Fighter game. Like, it's a pretty big deal. We've been talking about this for a little while because, well, I've kind of had to give the pee-pee slap to a couple of the woke bros that were out there that were claiming, they race and gender, well, no, didn't gender swap, but they race swapped Blue Mary and Joe Higashi. That's what they happened because there was two people in the background that looked like them. And well, with this gameplay reveal trailer from Terry, what you're going to notice is that we got Blue Mary in the background right there, sipping on a blue martini and looking an awful lot like she normally does. Then who's that goofy dude hanging around in the back? Oh, right, that's actual Joe Higashi. Now, I'm not going to play through the entire trailer, even though I don't think that they've been copyright striking for it. It's just, the FGC game, fighting games, they aren't really my thing, okay? Even though watching through this gameplay trailer, it'd be like, well, if I wanted to pick up one fighting game, it would definitely be Street Fighter 6, at least the ones that are out there. When it all comes down to it, man, Capcom makes quite possibly the best 2D fighters that are out there, at least the most accessible ones. I understand that there's some of the more anime ones, the Grand Blue Fantasies and the Guilty Gears. They're far more, fast twitch fiber reaction time. I'm not on that level, okay? I'm of a certain time, came up at a certain point, and I didn't acquire the skills to get really good at all of those. And when it came to 3D fighters, not really my thing, even though I see Tekken doing, some really impressive stuff. But there's nothing in my bones at all whatsoever that makes me want to pick up and definitely try out what they're doing over there at Warner Brothers at NetherRealm Studios with Mortal Kombat 1. So yeah, it would definitely be Street Fighter 6, and Terry's looking pretty good. Terry's looking pretty good, and the DLC characters that they have been adding throughout the different seasons and the ones that are on the horizon as well kind of lets me believe that Street Fighter, at least for right now, is in good hands. As for the rest of Capcom, though, it's a bit more touch and go, because you actually had full gameplay reveal for the upcoming Monster Hunter Wilds, which is going to be Capcom's biggest release of 2025, unless they're, looking to stealth drop something from one of their established franchises. Devil May Cry, it's getting to be about that time. But anyways, nothing's currently on the horizon, and well, this gameplay trailer right here looks pretty good, okay? Like, I played a little bit of Monster Hunter, one that was on the Wii U of all consoles, when it first, I think it was the first one to ever come to a home console. Otherwise, Monster Hunter had been relegated to the 3DS and the PSP for a long time, and they were exceptionally popular titles until they made that transition to home consoles, and then, they went to another level, became another staple franchise for the big C. And it looks good. It looks really good, too. And then we started to get some information out of it. And, well, I can kind of understand it, right? Because it's a certain world. There's going to be certain limitations on things, and well, if you're going to be crafting armor and as extravagant as it can get in the Monster Hunter games, I can understand having a unisex option to all of your armor, but it's not a good impression that you're leaving, okay? It's a bit of a red flag from Monster Hunter Wilds removing gender restrictions on armor appearance. Now, if it doesn't change anything, okay, if they start to move towards the create a character screen with the type A and type B and picking pronouns, that'll be a different story. But as of right now, yeah, you just have genderless armor, which is fine. Okay, Monster Hunter Wilds will be removing the gender restriction on armor appearances, allowing players to use whichever they prefer. The change was announced in a recent presentation at Gamescom, explaining the character will have more options for customizations. Yeah, you can check it out on the trailer. Rather than removing the male and female armor, it seems players will have the option to wear either, so don't worry, the cute female armor with all of its cleavage and exposed midriffs aren't going away. Players will simply have more options to dress their characters how they want, which is cool, man. Still, the customization aspect, if you want to feel represented, that's the way that you go with this stuff. Full character customization. Wear whatever you want. Dress however you care. If that's what you want to do, go for it. As long as you don't mess with the core gameplay, the story, which is kind of light in Monster Hunter games, if we're going to be honest, because it's all about gameplay. Which is why, when I heard this earlier today, okay, with the Nintendo Direct that was going along, this one caught me off guard, and this one, oh boy, this one hit me super hard because, you know, more recently I've been talking about my affinity for SNK, how I like classic Capcom fighting games, and when they announced the Marvel vs. Capcom collection, which is going to be dropping September 12th, which is amazing, okay, that's going to be coming out during this direct. Oh yeah, Capcom just decided, oh yeah, would you guys like another fighting collection with both CVS games, and then also, for the first time that I can even remember, you're going to get Power Stone and Power Stone 2 Alpha 3 Rising. Like, this is a great-ass collection. And I think outside of the Dreamcast, you've never been able to get a proper port of Power Stone 1 or 2. This is tremendous news. I was over the moon when I heard this, and frankly, there was a bunch of stuff that was announced in that Nintendo Direct. Suikoden 1 and 2 getting remastered. Like, those have also been held hostage on the old PS1, and getting official hard copies of those, that'll cost you a pretty penny. So to see those run back, that's amazing. I love what I see. But then, kind of like the Monster Hunter Wild news, we get more news off the back of this, and oh my god, Capcom. Okay, for as much credit as I was giving you for what you did with Street Fighter 6, with Monster Hunter Wilds, willing to give you the benefit of the doubt, you end up drifting away from that model and moving towards what you're doing with the Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster. This is it's not good. It's not good, because those games are classic. Okay, so if you're just going to be updating some stuff to make the visuals look better, because some of those old 3D backgrounds, yeah, they look a little rough. But if you're going to be smoothing any of the edges for a modern audience, you can go ahead and count me out. Capcom to censor Capcom Fighting Collection 2 will alter some stage visuals and certain visuals during the story. Oh, which ones are you talking about? In keeping with their ongoing deference to modern audiences, which, again, it doesn't appeal to anybody, especially to anybody who has any sort of reverence for any of those games that are up there. Okay, Project Justice, Capcom Fighting Evolution, of all games, like, that's digging deep. That was kind of like that shadow drop of SVC Chaos. It's like, nobody asked for that, but you got it. I guess we should have also seen that this could have been a potential outcome of releasing this collection, because they did end up censoring some key art. It didn't change the gameplay, but no apparent reason. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and switch up Mai's costume in some key art, but then announce her as another character for Season 2 for Street Fighter 6. At the same time, and I think that was also at Gamescom when it was confirmed that Mai was going to be in upcoming Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves, in all of her glory. And like I say, I'm no goon or anything like that. I don't need to have, I need to have my chicks looking super hot with their boobies hanging out. No. Mai has a specific reason that she looks like Mai. She weaponizes her femininity and her sex appeal in order to distract opponents. That's her character. Don't change that. You cover her up, you remove one of her weapons. Make another costume for her if you want, but otherwise have the iconic look. You're not doing anybody any favors. You're not winning over anybody, because as we see time and time again, you bend the knee to that side of the equation. It's never, ever, ever enough for them. But let's see what they're doing here. Okay, Capcom has confirmed that nearly every title set to be included in their newly announced Capcom Fighting Collection 2 will be subjected to some form of visual censorship. Okay, what do you mean? Revealed to the public on the morning of, yes, August 28th by way of Nintendo's partner showcase, the second entry into the Capcom Fighting Collection series. Technically third, because the Marvel Capcom Fighting Collection's also in there, but specifically by way of naming convention. But whatever, right? Like, you get, SNK 1 and 2, CVS 1 and 2, Capcom Fighting Evolution, Alpha 3 Upper, no, it's Alpha 3 Rising, not Upper. Power Stone 1 and 2, Project Justice, and Plasma Sword. The reason that they put in Plasma Sword is that you can properly see Jin in all of his glory, and have that one make sense when you're going to be experiencing him again in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Yes, to modern hardware. Yeah, with rollback netcode, proper training stages, like all of the common modern amenities that people actually want in their game. Just none of the censorship. That would be great. Unfortunately, while the collection looks to be retaining every bit of each title's signature gameplay, same cannot be said for their art direction. Okay, taking care to avoid revealing the collection censorship during the aforementioned partner showcase, Capcom instead hid the news of the game's official website, burying the details at the bottom of each affected title on the individual profile page, according to the said pages. As a result of these changes, okay, so CVS 1 and Alpha 3 Rising will have some stage visuals altered, with Plasma Sword likewise seeing changes to the appearance of certain stages. Well, to be as charitable as possible, even though they don't really deserve it at this point. Could be just smoothing some edges, perhaps, potentially, I don't know. Power Stone and Project Justice and Plasma Sword will see edits to certain visuals during each game's story. Yeah, that seems far more intrusive. And then Capcom Fighting Evolution will drop some character transformations from Dimitri's Midnight Bliss. That just seems like outright censorship, to be completely honest. As of writing, Capcom has not provided any specific details as to which exact visuals they will be altering, nor why they have chosen to do so. However, given the topics, yes, modern audiences currently consider taboo, speculation suggests that the offending content includes, in CVS, admittedly the hardest one to place, most of the stage visuals in the crossover fighter are genuinely harmless. However, if one had to guess, maybe the female cocktail waitress who continually strides across the game's Pow Pow Cafe. But as we've seen in the Street Fighter 6 Terry gameplay reveal, the Pow Pow Cafe is still in all of its glory. So that's interesting. And there's nothing really offensive, and there's nothing too terribly different from what you're seeing going on in the background here. I guess they're wearing more traditional Chinese garb with a longer dress length, I guess. Chicks in bathing suits and Alpha 3 for Ken and Bison's stages. No, Power Stone, okay, yeah, one of Rogue's arcade endings, I guess. But it's all truly speculation at this point. We don't know for sure what's going to be changed. They just announced that they have, and frankly, that's enough for me to be far too skeptical, because here's the thing, man. These companies, they want to profit off of their past. And yeah, they're doing quite a bit to update it, okay? Adding rollback netcode, bringing these games that were locked on long dead consoles back into circulation. That's fantastic, because here's the thing, when it comes to old fighting games, they are wholly and completely different than different iterations in a series. So yeah, there's a certain evergreen aspect to these games that's unique to that genre. You don't really get that so much in certain racing games, FPSs, and sports games, okay? There's certain mechanics that you can go ahead and tweak, but the buttons, the combos, the physics, yeah, it can totally vary from iteration to iteration when it comes to fighting games, and that's what makes them so special, and that's what makes this type of modern lensing so pernicious, so unwanted, and so unfortunately Capcom in today's day and age. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.